So this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time. It's the BYD honest review. I really want to take the time and understand the car, get a feel for the car, and understand everything about how it works before I even provide you with this honest review, because doing otherwise will be dishonest. And I have spent about a month with this car, and I put about 2,300 kilometers on this car, and I finally feel that I'm qualified to talk about this car. And so today we'll be presenting the honest review to you and also give you my verdict whether this is the right car for Vietnam or not. All right, so let's get going.
Hey Tom, it's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. First I want to say congratulations on your YouTube channel. Everybody needs to follow your YouTube channel. So what everyone needs to do is subscribe to Tom Peng. Great guy, great person. Tom, keep up the great work.
So what we have here is a BYD Seal Performance. This is the top model in the BYD Seal line, and it has the best performance. And let me show you. The exterior of the BYD looks very, very slick because it has to be aerodynamic, because it is an electric vehicle, need to conserve electricity. So that explains the design of the car, which makes it look very similar to Tesla Model 3. And because it has to have that very aerodynamic profile. And right up front, you get the BYD emblem. It's distinctively BYD. I love the headlights, how sleek they are. They look like somebody is winking at you. And these lines make BYD more distinctive. As you see a car with these lights rolling down the road, you know that it's a Seal. The BYD Seal Performance comes with these 19-inch rims, and they're just the perfect size for the car and also for its efficiency. Here you have a BYD design logo here. So the rear section of the BYD Seal Performance, the rear slopes back like this, make it look a bit like a coupe, even though it is a four-door sedan. I like it because it makes it more sporty. Let's go to the back. So the lighting at the rear, it is one singular strip. So the lights are actually here, but it's designed to look like a single piece. So again, we have the BYD Seal emblem, and also it tells us that this is an all-wheel drive, meaning that it has motor in the front and also motor in the back. And this particular model is a 3.8S. So BYD has done something unique in the car industry, and that is when it comes to car models, usually for gas cars, they put the engine size number in the model number. But for BYD, they put the 0 to 100 kilometer acceleration time in the model number. So the 3.8S stands for 3.8 seconds, and that's the speed from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. And no car manufacturer does that except BYD. And I think this gives you very clear information about the car. It is all-wheel drive, it's electric, and it accelerates fast, okay? Also, we have these splitters in the back, but I don't think they're functional. I think they're a little bit too high. They actually don't catch air. The purpose of these splitters is to split the air flow so that it offers a better aerodynamic flow of the air surrounding the car. But I don't think these actually work. But nevertheless, they give the car a very sporty appearance. And also, you see these? If they actually worked, they're supposed to provide you with better airflow around the car, but they appear to be fake. So they don't actually work. But again, it's there to help the appearance of the car to make it more sporty. And then of course, we have charging door. This is completely manual, unlike some other cars where you have electric latch and then it'll open electrically for you. This is 100% manual, so I don't mind that. It just means less maintenance. And of course, it supports AC and DC charging. And in fact, the BYD supports 600 volt charging infrastructure. This car can charge fast, okay? But the problem is that in Vietnam, the charging infrastructure is not quite there, so fast charging stations are not readily available. So all in all, I do like the appearance of the BYD Seal Performance. It looks very sporty, it looks very sleek, but it does not catch attention. As I was driving this car over the last month down the roads of Saigon, rarely catches attention. If there's a car enthusiast and know it's a BYD, of course they will pay attention to it, but otherwise, this car looks very similar to many other gas-powered sedans in the market today. So this is not a car that will grab a lot of attention for you. So if you don't want attention, this is perfect, okay? We know how Vietnamese people feel about China, but I have received no haters so far. Like driving a BYD down Saigon streets, nobody has expressed their China hate to me yet, which is a good thing. So the exterior of the BYD is not exceptional. It looks nice. Let's get inside and look at the interior. Let's go. Hey, Miss V, come join me. So now I'm in the driver's seat of the BYD Seal Performance and Miss V is in the passenger seat. And how do you feel about the cabin of the BYD Seal Performance?
The cabin feels absolutely comfortable, and also, you know, I love the material. It gives me like the feeling of I'm riding on a really luxurious car. You know, it feels special. Yeah.
And I would like to echo that sentiment as well, because it really is a comfortable place to be. The seat is very comfortable,
Yeah.
it's soft, and the seat kind of cushions you and grabs you, and like a girlfriend grabbing me from the back, you know, very, very sensuous, I think. And the material is amazing. Like it's all leather and Alcantara here. Really, really good attention to detail. When I sit in the cabin of the BYD Seal Performance, I feel like I'm sitting in a car that's made in Germany. Maybe a car that was made in Stuttgart, Germany,
Stuttgart.
all right? It gives me that feeling, even though it's a Chinese-made car. And it's really amazing that how Chinese cars have come along in the last few decades. China can produce really high-quality vehicles, and we're just talking about the interior right now.
Yeah.
So in the BYD CL Performance, we get digital dash here, and also a really nice infotainment screen here, which is rotatable. Okay, go back. Go. Shit! Oh, I didn't break it. Oops. So we have our camera here and it's kind of getting in the way of the rotation, but you know what I mean. The screen can rotate in portrait mode or landscape mode. And let me tell you, this is actually a pretty useless feature, because first of all, the real benefit of the portrait mode is maybe you're showing a map and you want to see further ahead where you're going. That's what this mode is for. But in Vietnam, the BYD does not provide you with navigation. Not yet anyways. I don't know why, but there's no embedded navigation. So we really cannot leverage this mode. And if you use Google Maps with Android Auto, or if you use the map with Apple CarPlay, it doesn't work in this mode. So when you're using Android Auto, you cannot rotate the screen. So for now, this mode is completely useless, but it's cool. When passengers get in the car, you can show them, hey, you know what? My screen can rotate. Can your screen rotate? Huh? Right? But make sure you don't have a camera here to get in the way of the rotation.
So it's a little bit gimmicky.
Yeah, it's gimmicky. It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fancy feature, but not all that useful.
Just for show.
Just for show, yeah. We made another video about the software features. It's called the software overview of the BYD Seal Performance. You can find that video and find out all the software functions available in the BYD Seal Performance. And let me tell you, and you know this as well, that you have so much control in the BYD Seal Performance. You can control every tiny little thing. For example, the colors of the ambient lights, or how much the trunk opens when you push the button to open the trunk, the angle that it opens. I mean, it's so much minute control over this car. It took us an hour to go over all the features, and we didn't even cover all the features. So if you buy this car and you want to know everything about this car, it's gonna take you a little while. Yeah. In the center console, we have this really nice wireless charging place for your phone. You actually support 2 phones. Miss V, where's your phone?
Here.
Yeah, let's put some wireless charging on it, okay? So while it's charging, you can see any notifications comes up. I think this is a very humanistic design, right? So as you're driving the car, and then if there's any notification come up on your screen, you can quickly glance at it, and then you know what's happening. Right, so I think that's really, really cool. And I really like the gear changer here with all the essential buttons. And I like how this looks like crystal, but no, it's really plastic. All right, but it looks like a crystal gear changer. It looks nice. And of course, very importantly, we have 2 cup holders. I think a good test for any good car is that does it have, you know, good cup holder access, right? So this right here, for you and me, I think it's great. And then it has these things to make sure the cup is like securely groped by the cup holder, okay? Groped, yes. And here you see NFC.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
No, what is it, boss?
Near field communication. I hope I'm right. But anyways, what this does is that I have a BYD credit card. Okay? No, it's actually not a credit card, but it does have a chip inside. So when I put the card here, now you can start the car. So you don't even need to carry the key. All right? And if I'm outside, I can tap the card on the mirror, and then I can get in. So you don't have to carry your key with you.
Very practical.
I think it's a nice thing to have. Yeah. And in terms of storage, we have ample storage in the center console. So we also have storage here. So Miss V, can you put your hand through there? And I can put my hands through there. See, I can touch you. So this is actually a lot of storage space here, right? So if you're carrying a purse, you could just like put the purse there. Yeah, just get out of the way, right? And also on the side, we have some storage in the door here and over there. You can use your hand. Yeah, is that a lot of space?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put some
Cup holder here.
No.
Water bottle here.
You can put a water bottle there, yeah. Or you can put some, you know,
Chewing
accessories, chewing gums.
Yeah,
You can put some accessories there, right?
Tissues.
Like tissue paper, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And of course we have glove compartment. That's where I put all my important documents about this car, right? We have lights, and they're touch activated. They're not buttons. One thing I love about modern electric vehicles is that it comes with these really nice sunroof, right? So you can look up and see the scenery above you, right? And also it's really good to see traffic lights in Vietnam, because for whatever reason, the positioning of the traffic light is really hard to see sometimes in the streets of Saigon. So now you have this roof, and you can easily look at the traffic light this way. Yeah, I think that's quite useful. But it does have one downside, and that is it tends to get a bit hot on a sunny day.
Yeah.
So your air conditioning would have to work harder to keep the cabin cool. Actually, BYD gives you an accessory. You can cover it if you don't want the heat to dissipate into the cabin. I don't like it. I like keeping this roof because it's so nice, and it's a talking piece. When people get into the car, they see the transparent roof and they get excited about it. So I like it. I like to keep it like that. That's about it for the front passenger and driver positions. I would say it gives you just the right amount of buttons, not too much, so you're not overwhelmed with buttons, and you can do most of the things that you need to do with the car through the infotainment screen. Oh, and Miss V, every time we review a car, we also have to review whether it's a good car to take your date out. Okay, whether it's a good dating car or not. So would you pretend to be my girlfriend? Just pretend.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So I'm driving in the driver's seat in the BYD Seal Performance, and I'm feeling a little bit romantic. So, I put my hand over and I grab your hand, and I'm just kind of driving down the road like this. Is this a comfortable position for you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There's enough room for both hands.
Oh yeah, both arms, right?
Both
And we're resting on the resting center console area here. It's fairly comfortable. And if I feel like even more romantic, I could do that as well. Like, very accessible. I could also reach over, it's very accessible like that. The only thing I think it could not do is like, in the Wuling, I could do this, right? I could do this, but in the BYD, it's not so accessible because it's a wider cabin. Yeah. So would you give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down as a dating car?
I would say definitely a thumbs up.
Yeah, I think when you get in the car, they're gonna be impressed with the interior, right? And that makes the hand grabbing more accessible as well.
Yeah.
I really like the Dyne audio system in the car. In fact, I think this is one of the best audio systems in all of my cars. I really enjoy listening to music in this car, and also it comes with ambient lighting. So as you're playing music in the car, the colors of the ambient light change, and it's kind of dancing with the music. So I thought that was quite cool. I'm pretty sure it's not unique to BYD, but it's certainly a nice feature when you're listening to music, driving in the BYD, especially at night. Yeah, it's like you're in a mini nightclub. Let's go to the back and check out the back seats.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is not normally where I sit in a car usually, but how do you feel about the back seat now that you're in it?
Well, I feel like there's so much leg room. Yeah, I can freely swing my legs like that, my feet like that. Yeah, it gives you like the most comfort, and moreover, the leather seats, it gives you like the absolute comfort. Like I feel like a baby, and this is like my mother, like holding me.
Really?
Yeah.
You feel like BYD is your mom?
Yeah.
Not quite normal, but okay. But I agree with your sentiments again. I think this is a very, very comfortable backseat to be in. The leather feel like it's fairly high quality. And I love the seat. I mean, there's no infotainment screen here, but look at how sporty and modern the front seats are. I mean, the view of the front seat from the back, right? And you also get some storage space here. So you could put like maybe your passport here, small documents, and your magazines in this area, right?
They even like intentionally design it into different stuff.
Yes.
Attention to detail.
So you also get climate control vents here, a bit of a storage space here, and if you need to charge your phone, here's a panel you can open. And then it comes with USB ports for charging your phone, and also USB-C ports. And also in the back seat, we have the Dyne audio speakers here as well, where the door latch is. And you have access to your windows. And of course, very importantly, we have the handle here, right? Because if you're sitting in my car, you're probably grabbing onto this, for your dear life. Wah! Yeah! Help me! And of course, in the center, we have this, and we get cup holders. This is very simple. And try it. Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. Yeah, would you say? Grab your drink, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I wouldn't mind being driven in the BYD Seal. I think this is a very, very comfortable back seat. What do you think?
I agree with that.
Yeah, even the headrest is so nice. Yeah, this is a lot of room, right? So I get like 2 fists and about 3 fists. Also, storage compartment here. Also on your side, put that back. And also, in the BYD, you can also tickle the driver like this.
Ooh. Yeah.
Tickle the driver. Or the front passenger. Normally you could not do that in any other car. Yeah. And also, from this vantage point, I get to see the entire panoramic roof. And it looks super nice, especially on a sunny day like this. I can see the sky, the cloud, the tree, the birds. It's so nice. Oh, bird poop.
Yeah. Or if you're traveling to places like that, like you can oversee the hills.
Exactly.
From the sunroof.
Yeah, that would be a very scenic drive in the
Yeah.
BYD Seal Performance, I
Yes.
think. Yeah, I like it. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right, so let's get the car on the road.
Okay.
All right, and we'll talk more about the BYD Seal Performance.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, hey, Miss V.
Yeah?
Actually, we did not talk about the trunk yet.
Oh.
So, actually, you get a lot of trunk space. Take a look.
Wow.
What do you think?
Ooh, so much room.
So much room, like I have many of my bags in there.
Yeah.
And I think it's enough space for maybe 2.5 really big size luggages.
Oh.
So if you need to go long distance travel, take a family and all the clothing and accessories, you could.
Yeah.
All right. And also there's some additional storage here as well. Yeah. Let's go to the front.
Okay.
So what do you think is under the front?
I think it's the engine of the car.
The engine of the car.
Yeah.
That's what people normally would think, right? But take a look.
Oh, wow.
Comes with a cover, but under the cover, more storage space.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's an electric vehicle, there is no gas engine, right? So there's a lot of space that they leveraged it into a storage compartment.
So cool.
You can put additional half a luggage in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get on the road.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so now we have Miss V, Mr. Sun, and also Miss Feng in the BYD. Let's take the car out for a drive. Let's go.
Okay.
So I've had the BYD Seal Performance for about a month now. I put 2,400 kilometers on the car already. So I really wanted to take the time to learn everything about the car and get a really good feel for it before I comment about it. Because this is an honest review, so I'm gonna share with you 100% my experience with the BYD Seal Performance. I want to be as authentic as possible. So now I do feel I have ample experience with the BYD Seal Performance, and I feel qualified to talk about it. All right, and I love driving the BYD Seal Performance because it's a really fast car. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds. We actually put that to the test, and the numbers we got back, the best numbers we got back was 3.9 second, and I feel that given the right conditions, we could do 3.8 second. So it's as advertised, and it's a very quick car. And the thing about the BYD Seal Performance is that it's fast, but you also feel very safe when you're driving it. So you can push the car to its limit, and you don't feel like the car is gonna get out of control under you. You know, the car will do exactly what you tell it to do. And I think that makes the BYD Seal Performance the best daily driver ever made. Okay, I've tested the Tesla Model 3, Model Y, Model X. I have tested the Hyundai Ioniq. In fact, I've done all of those tests in Canada, and I have to say that this is right up there. This is right up there. It's comparable to the Model 3. And in fact, I would say this is higher quality in terms of the interior compared to the Model 3. So given the choice, I would pick this car over the Tesla Model 3. If I were to buy this car in Canada, which I couldn't, because in US and Canada, BYD is not there yet, many reasons. But in Vietnam, I'm lucky to be able to purchase this car and experience it. So I think I have the best of the world here in Vietnam, electric car wise. Yeah. And I still want to buy a VinFast in Canada, but I don't know when that will happen. So Ms. V, how do you feel about the ride quality? I know you've been in my BYD many times already. In fact, you've been in many of my cars. So how do you feel about the ride quality in the BYD Seal Performance?
I feel like when you are driving as a passenger, I feel absolutely safe and I can trust you and also this car with my entire life. And whenever we have to stop suddenly, it doesn't feel like I was about to vomit. Like, yeah. It doesn't feel really like intense. And the acceleration is also super smooth. Yeah,
Yes.
I enjoy the acceleration of the BYD. And as
okay.
it is advertised, it's a very super fast car. Yeah.
What about Miss Feng? Now you're sitting in the back seat of the BYD Seal Performance. How do you feel about the ride quality?
Cái cảm giác ngồi phía sau đó là rất là êm, không có cảm giác phải là kiểu nó bị sốc hay nhiều quá. Cho dù có đi qua ổ gà hay gì cũng vậy, thì cảm giác rất là thoải mái khi ngồi phía sau.
So I think we all agree that the BYD Seal Performance is a very comfortable place inside the cabin, and the ride quality is really excellent compared to many of the cars that you can purchase here in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but again, when I drive the BYD Seal Performance, not just me, but my passengers feel like this is a car that came out of Germany. Maybe this is manufactured in Stuttgart, but actually it's not. It's actually made in China. And we're all very surprised by its ride quality and performance. And also, in the last 2,400 kilometers, we have 0 defect in the car.
Wow.
So there is nothing wrong, which is kind of rare. I kind of only get that with the Wuling and the BYD. Usually we have to take the car back to the service center. Usually something goes wrong, but in the BYD, nothing went wrong. 0 defects so far. I'm truly impressed by the quality of the construction of this car.
Wow. So it's super reliable.
So far, it's been very reliable. Nothing went wrong. So what we're saying is that the ride quality is good, and the reliability is good. Everybody's comfortable, but I want everybody to shut up, okay, and listen. What do you hear? What do you hear?
I hear nothing.
Nothing, right?
Yeah. Silence.
Silence! You're right. The cabin is so quiet. And normally I would not get this level of quietness unless I'm in like a Mercedes S-Class. So it blows my mind how quiet you can make this cabin. Is that right, Mr. Sun?
Yes.
It's quiet, right? So I don't know, again, I'm not an engineer. I don't understand what they did, but they certainly did a very good job in isolating the sound from the outside. Well, this is the performance model. So naturally, we gotta test the performance a little bit, okay? You guys ready?
Yes.
How do you feel about that? It's fast, right? It's a quick car. But I feel very confident in doing that.
Yeah.
I can take this car up to, like 100 kilometers in 4 seconds, and I can feel absolutely confident in doing that as long as there's no traffic in front of me.
Yeah.
Man, it handles good too.
Does it feel harsh?
It doesn't feel harsh, right? And you're absolutely right. You said that when we accelerate, it's so smooth. There's no like jittery like vibrations going through the cabin when we accelerate. It's just so smooth.
It's like a smooth roller coaster ride.
It's like you're on maglev. It's like you're on maglev. You know the speed train.
Oh.
So good. I mean, it's so hard to get this car out of control. I mean, I can do that all day long. And check out the turning radius, all right? It's so good. So in terms of the driving performance, I think this is really not matched by any other cars that are available for sale in Vietnam. I'm not talking about the gray market cars, like I'm talking about any official cars that's being sold in Vietnam. I think this beats every other car in terms of performance. In terms of acceleration, in terms of handling, ride quality, you can't go wrong with the BYD. Seal Performance, that is.
So it's like a front runner right now.
In my mind, yes.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's like the best there is. I'm talking about electric and also gas. Like, how are you gonna get a gas car that speeds up to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds in Vietnam? Non-existent, not possible, right? Unless you're getting like a Lamborghini, and those are only like available through probably gray markets, right? Or super expensive. And compare this to a Lamborghini, this is actually daily drivable. You can actually drive this car every single day. To work and back home, go to the supermarket, take the kids out. You can't do that with a Lamborghini, right? You can't do that with even my SL55. I'm scared to drive it because the low clearance. Like, you cannot really drive that car on the roads of Vietnam.
Yeah.
So this is really, I'm saying this is like the best daily driver you can buy in Vietnam. So we talk about all the positives. I also need to talk about some of the negatives of the BYD Seal Performance. The first one is the charging infrastructure. If you're buying a VinFast, it comes with a countrywide charging infrastructure built by VinFast, right? And anywhere you go, you're gonna find charging stations, but not the BYD Seal. The BYD Seal doesn't have its own charging infrastructure here in Vietnam, so it relies on third-party charging infrastructures. There's a lot of companies either inside Vietnam or coming into Vietnam that are building charging infrastructures, but it's very, very slow. So they don't have very good coverage. So if you need to do a long-distance commute, let's say from Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi, maybe it will become a little bit difficult because you need to find charging stations. And you really need fast chargers with this car, right? You cannot charge this with AC charging because that will take 7 hours, 10 hours to fill up this car. And you really need convenient fast charging, but for the BYD, that's really not available. So that's a big no-no if you need to take the car long distance. I would not recommend the BYD. I would recommend the VinFast in that case. For example, in our company, we have a fleet of cars and we take our sales and customer service people to visit customers, and our customers are all over Vietnam in different provinces, and they need to travel long distances. Then it makes sense to get the VinFast because the charging infrastructure is there. But I would not get BYD for my company fleet, as an example. And the second complaint I have about the BYD is that the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay is not accessible wirelessly. So in order to connect to the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you physically have to connect the USB cable, right? It's not a big problem, but it's also not very reliable. So for example, right now I'm plugged in, but I'm not getting Android Auto. So sometimes I need to do this multiple times in order to get Android Auto to work. See, it didn't work again, so let's do that again. No. So I think there is room for improvement in terms of the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity. Once it's working, it's great. I love the Google Maps in Android Auto. Hey, see, now it's working. It kind of random.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So let's unplug that for now. So I wish that BYD would update software to support wireless connectivity with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and make it more reliable. That would be a great thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and we need to talk about the range, right? We tested this car. I took the car to Tainan province. I went to the Black Virgin Mountain and back, and that's about 200 kilometers. And we barely used up 60% of the battery. So this car is capable of doing 550 kilometers. And I've seen it with my own eyes, so I believe it, right? When they first tell me, oh, this car can do 550 kilometers at the dealership, I said like, no, I need to test that. I didn't believe what they said, but when I actually tested it, it's actually true. You can actually do 550 kilometers on a full charge. I was truly impressed. And I've been driving this car for about a month, and I only go to charging station like once every 2 weeks. I can stretch for that long because it has a really good range. So I don't feel anxious when I take the car out. I'm not constantly looking for charging stations, which is good. The car uses LFP battery. It's lithium ferrophosphate battery. It's actually not as energy dense as the NMC batteries, which is the battery that's more commonly available in high-end electric cars. But this is actually a pretty good battery. It's a little bit heavier, but as you can see, it offers really good range. That's the crazy part, because it's the other battery, the NMC battery should offer you the better range, but actually, as evidence would show, that LFP batteries can actually give you really good range as well. We'll make another video and we'll compare the LFP battery with the MNC battery, and we'll compare the pros and cons. All right, so that's coming. So the BYD battery is really good, provides a lot of range, but not only that, it's also safer. So it's less likely to boom, right, compared to the MNC batteries. You can actually find videos on the internet. They actually show you that you put a knife through the battery, nothing happens. You could not do that with an MMC battery because the battery will explode once it exposes to the air. Yeah. So in summary, right? So this car's got performance, it's fast, handles well, right? And it's comfortable, it's high quality and high reliability, no defects so far. These are all the good things are going for this car. I think we all love it. The negatives are charging infrastructure, but hopefully in time, with so many companies building infrastructure here in Vietnam, that problem will be solved, right? Just like in the very beginning of VinFast, I was one of the first people to buy VinFast cars, and in the beginning, the charging infrastructure wasn't there as well. But it took a few years, and eventually, VinFast has a really good infrastructure now. And I think it's going to take a few years for non-VinFast brands to get that level of infrastructure. Maybe never at the VinFast level, but at least be better than present. Yeah.
I have a question. So for regular drivers, and if they want to use the BYD Seal Performance for daily use, how many times do they have to charge per week?
I drive about 30 kilometers a day, and I can go 2 weeks without charging.
Wow.
Yeah.
So say if I only drive to work or to local supermarkets, to local restaurants, then I only have to charge once every 2 weeks?
Yeah. So when I was driving the other electric car, I would have to go to the charging station more often, but then the other charging station is more available, right? But with this car, the charging station is farther away from me, but I only need to go there once every 2 weeks. So there's a little bit of trade-off, right? So let's talk about price. So the BYD Seal Performance, the one that takes you to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds, can you guess how much it is?
I'm guessing maybe over 1 billion.
Well, definitely over 1 billion. So it's actually about 1.3 billion, about 1.4 billion rolling price, like rolling off the dealership. And that's about maybe $60,000 USD. And that's after tariff and everything else in Vietnam, which is actually amazingly cheap when I went to the BYD event and they told me the price, and that was the determining factor. I wasn't gonna get a BYD car. I didn't think I would get one, but they told me, oh, this is 3.8 second and it's only 1.3 T, and I'm like, what? Well, then there's no reason for me not to get it. So I put down the deposit, and now we're riding in it.
Okay. Do you think it's a steal?
I think it's a steal compared to every other car out there. I mean, what car can you get at this price, this level of performance, this level of luxury and quality? Can you name one? I can't, right? So yeah, so I think it's got a lot of things going for the BYD Seal. And if you don't need the 3.8 second level of performance, there's actually another model, I think it's called Advanced, give you longer range but less performance. So if you really need the range, maybe that's the model you go after. And with this car, you already get 550 kilometers per full charge. I have to be more transparent there. So when we tested this car, it was a national holiday, so there wasn't a lot of cars on the road. So we're able to get the really optimal numbers for the range. But even when I travel during rush hour every day in this car, I can still get about 400 kilometers on a full charge, which is amazing. What other car can you do that with? Maybe a Tesla, but you can't really buy Teslas here in Vietnam. I think it's a steal. So the final question is, given what I know now, and if I can go back in time, would I still buy this car? And the answer, I think you know, is I would buy this car in a heartbeat, right? I would buy it again. But I still love VinFast, okay? I still love VinFast. I still support VinFast. Our company fleet is still VinFast, right? You know how many VinFast I have?
Many.
Can you guess?
More than 5.
Definitely more than 5. All right, Miss Fong, can you guess?
We have 7.
No, we have 9.
Wow.
Oh, 2 coming soon. We have a VF3 and a VF8 Lux coming soon. So total we have 9 VinFast already in our possession or in the process of delivery.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can't say I don't love VinFast. You can't say I don't support VinFast. You know, people say I'm like a fucking Chinese spy, come here to destroy VinFast. I think that's crazy, man. Like, who is giving me the direction? President Xi, like President Xi says to Tom Peng, you go to Vietnam and destroy VinFast. You think they do that? I'm not even from China. I've only been to China as a tourist. Fuck. I don't know what those people are thinking. You know, initially when I read comments like that, you know, I feel a little bit upset, but you know, after a while I feel, hey, you know what, they're fucktards. It's okay, just ignore them. I'm not sensitive people. They can't affect what I do and think and do, right? Right? We're gonna continue to present these car reviews in an honest light. If it's good, it's good. If it's shit, it's shit. Right? It's not gonna affect anything. And I have no allegiance to China or President Xi. No. It's crazy. Like who in China would direct me to do this? Fuck. Right? Is that clear enough? Right? And we love VinFast, and we want to support Vietnamese brand to become a global brand, and I think that's a very exciting thing, right? But I think the entry of BYD is also a good thing, because now VinFast has competition in Vietnam, and competition will drive innovation, right? So that means VinFast will build better products that are more competitive globally, and then one day everybody will be driving VinFast all over the world. I think that's a great future to look forward to. But that only happens when there's competition. And when there's competition, then every company improve their product, including VinFast. And I think that's what we want. Yeah. So just because I'm driving a BYD doesn't mean that I'm a traitor, okay? No, my heart is Vietnam and VinFast, which sometimes make me sad because sometimes we have problems with VinFast, right? And that's okay, because those are all opportunity for improvement. We're a product company, we make products, right? And not every product is perfect. Sometimes we have problems and we need to fix it. And the challenge, the question is, are we gonna fix it, right? If VinFast will fix it, then there'll be a great car company. Precisely, right, Mr. Sun?
Yes,
Yeah. And I think the biggest challenge for BYD brand here in Vietnam is the perception that this is a Chinese car, because we know how Vietnamese people feel about Chinese products and China in general, and I think that's what they need to overcome. And I actually talked to somebody at the BYD dealership, and I told them, this is your problem. Like, why would Vietnamese people buy Chinese car? And he says, well, we need to convince the consumer with quality, with a great product. And I think they have. They have convinced me. I'm not from China, but they convinced me that this is a high quality product. And I think I'm gonna enjoy this BYD. So if you're open-minded like me, very open-minded, not so much you, but me open-minded, then look into the BYD. Maybe it's a great car for you, right? Take some fucking action. Go to the BYD dealership and look at the cars. They have actually 3 models right now and more models coming too. And maybe one of them is your car. Look into it. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by Chinese quality nowadays. I think they really build really good cars. That's why they're dominating the world, right? BYD is the #1 EV manufacturer in the world. Do you know that?
Wow.
Yeah, really, right? Like bigger than Tesla. They're #1 now. Yeah, there's a reason. The reason is because they have a great product, right? So look into it, go to the dealership, find out more, and what?
Don't be a fucktard.
That's right!